Snowpiercer, adapted from the 1982 graphic novel series of the same name, takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, with Earth's last remaining inhabitants on a 1001 car train, providing the last form of life and sustenance available for humans. The train is divided into three sectors, which closely resembles the pre-French Revolution class system of the Third Estate, Second Estate, and the clergy. Before the world ended due to an adverse reaction in attempted world cooling to tackle global warming, a ticket for this train had to be bought. Those who were able to buy a ticket were held in the middle section of the train. Made up of elite and wealthy members of society, these people typically keep society on the train functioning, such as maintaining food and education. They also reap the benefits of a functioning society with available restaurants, spas, pubs, and nightclubs. Tucked deep into the back of the train, along with the rats and plumbing systems, with no windows or means of natural light, you have those who bombarded the train while it was stationed and managed to force their way on. Although these people come from many walks of life, from the unemployed to lawyers, they are not seen as rightful inhabitants of the train. They are kept alive with protein blocks made from ground bugs, and are only allowed the privilege of living as disposable humans to fulfill whatever is needed at the front of the train. At the top of the train we have the nobility, those who create and maintain law and order and are in control of every aspect in the train and its inhabitants. This overarching theme of class inequality is something that remains prevalent from the opening scene to the end credits, and Bong Joon-ho ensures you have the full experience of an inhabitant of the tale. This movie takes us from the tale all the way to the top, and we can see this reflected in the camera work. A number of over-the-shoulder shots amidst groups of people, first-person perspectives, and getting to be eye level during conversations make us feel like a third character, a member of the lower class and privy to the plans and plots other members of the tale are planning. We feel like we're part of the revolution. We are included on their journey of exploration with wide-angle shots allowing us to take in the full effects of the train carriages, and the gradual increase of colour and saturation as we ascend the train reflected the difference in mood and privilege given to those in the higher classes. These directorial choices not only reflect the wonder offered in this movie, but also the grief and desperation. This movie is not subtle in its message, and it is a message that has been a reality since generations past, and many generations to come.
I hate getting older. I fucking hate it.
This train operates on a class system established before the end of the world and had no signs of change before the uprising of the tale. Every detail in this movie is intentional, from relationships formed to wardrobe design, with the tale being dressed in tattered, faded rags and the higher classes in clean, bright, expensive fabrics.
17 years on Earth, 17 years in the tail section.
Curtis, our protagonist, is seen as the leader of the revolution among his peers, and whether he believes this or not, he lives up to the role. Much like another role we've seen him in.
I am Steve Rogers.
Life on the train is linear, and Joon-ho shows us this in his direction of the characters only ever looking forward or backward. A symbolization of both the claustrophobia of the train, but the train of thought of its inhabitants, never striving to think further outside of the box on what would lie beyond the surrounding carriages, only allowing themselves to believe that there is only death. All but two essential characters, Nam-gun and his daughter Yona, follow this narrative. He strives to educate her, a train baby, on life on the outside world, from teaching her soil that allows plants to grow to showing her the frozen remains of those who ventures out before, and why they may have met their demise. It was these two that decided in the penultimate scene that when all hope was lost, the only option was to derail the train and chance life in the ever more promising outside world.
I will give you this one and that one for that one.
During our time in the tale, we see a strong sense of community. Everyone cares and supports each other to increase morale and build a sense of home. As Curtis makes his way up the train, he loses his fellow tailmates, until eventually he's met by Wilford, the creator of the Eternal Engine, and in contrast to the tale, alone and isolated. It is revealed that Wilford and Curtis's longtime friend Gillian had devised a plot for Curtis to succeed Wilford as head operator of the train. This general isolation of Curtis to match Wilford represents the classic belief that you have to step on those closest to you to achieve ultimate wealth and power. This movie strongly resembles the French Revolution, with the top being the bourgeoisie, the tail being the peasants, and the revolution incurring the overthrow of the higher class. The French Revolution also brought a change in thought and what we are taught to believe, inspired by the overlapping scientific revolution, which challenged the old belief that rich are placed as their God-given right, and religious teachings come before scientific findings. We hear in the schools on the train, through conversations with inhabitants, both from the tail through to the top, that the engine is eternal, and without the engine there can be no life. This is believed as fact, as it has been taught for the 18 years the train has been in operation. But this film leads us to question what is true and what is told to condition and control. Gillespie, in his 1959 book Science and the French Revolution, explained the movement. The revolutionary torment in France was the birth agony in our democratic world. The movie ends with the death of the train and all those on board. Our last two survivors, a young girl Yona and a little boy Timmy, step out into the tundra. While it seems all hope is lost and death is approaching, a polar bear comes into view, fed and surviving and proving the possibility of life separate from the engine, with the deaths of all those on board a sacrifice to provide this kind of enlightenment. Bong Joon-ho's themes of classism seep throughout his work as we revisit it in Parasite, Okja, and Joon-ho's recent success Mickey 17. However, Snowpiercer, one of his earliest portrayals of this theme, shows this with the amount of suspense and excitement that for 2 hours and 6 minutes we are all equally fighting alongside the tale for equality and rights.
Stop, everybody!
Joon-ho utilizes the talents of both Evans and Swinton compared to the otherwise typecasted role in other directors' work, with Evans' character showing a full spectrum of depth in emotion and decision making in his pursuit of what he believes to be right, even in the peril of those closest to him. Likewise, we see Swinton's typical Cookie characteristics, to which she has become renowned for, but she successfully establishes a vindictive, deceitful character, and though she is overall a villain in this story, her outlandish nature forces you to see her in a playful light that you cannot help but enjoy watching.
Is size 10 chaos.
This theme is not a foreign concept. It has been revised and revisited multiple times throughout film history, but Joon-ho delivers it with such glaring precision that he holds a mirror to the viewer and makes us question our role in society. This movie is often criticized for its on-the-nose approach in delivering this message. However, the direct way Joon-ho delivers this message is exactly why I personally find it so extraordinary.
Oh my God!